titanola, Ola nyanto titanola, for ato tenanola, Tankola doko natanola, Amunga amwala badola, Fok you bolo mo aduna, Nenyu pati dimble kikite, Lano sunyo rebu yalume, Sunyo line damo, Sunyo line damo, Sunyo line damo, Gambia line damo, Sunyo line damo, Sunyo line damo, Sunyo line damo, Banyu line damo, Gambia ameni fide jalore, Abdel Kabir Usunja Exinor, Salibay Buyate, Bature, Usulayon Jai Mudusi, Musangon Piripire, Kuta Kinte, Niño Isunyun Nanane, Konelendamo, Nyundamo, Laluke, Deño Kondamo, Nendamo, Suyu Remiteño Kondamo, Rio Manini, Rio Manini, Rio Manini, Nolen Rio Manini.
I'll give it another go.
Yeni bakacağım aksalam, yeni mamli, yeni bakırım içimden. Sumureo line damo, sumureo line damo, sumureo line damo, Gambia line damo, sumureo line damo, sumureo line damo, sumureo line damo, Banyu line damo. Kon ñu ñaanal ñu ñu jiitu taxawal suñu réew fi faatu ñi ci gën ñi laagu jàmm ak salaam moo doon seen kaadu ne ñu fàtte démb liggéey tey ndam ñu suñu réew bu ñu yàlla may joxante loxo ay ñu fay ñoo bokk réew mi gaañ ñi ne ñu tey suñu réew lay suñu réew lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo Gambia lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo
assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's feeling alright. I hope everybody is enjoying their Saturday evening. I hope everybody is tuned in and ready for today's show. My name is Fatu, aka Chat Drame Jallo, and I am your host for, I've just given it a name, the Chit Chat Show with Chat. I just want to say thank you for the love that I received yesterday. I am more than overwhelmed with the appreciation. I must admit, I went on here yesterday. As soon as I signed on, I was like, what am I getting myself into? You know, I didn't really know what I was doing to per se. I was just like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it now. I'm going to start. And I got so much love in return and so much encouragement in return. And, you know, it's just the vibe that I wanted to send out. I actually achieved that. Alhamdulillah. Dewa Bismillah, see Benin show or Benin episode for today, and I just want to say that I am more than overwhelmed with all the support. I just also want to show, you know, the jale nyep. I'm a fan music, but the jale nyep kepa ko si nyaka sa mboka these trying times. Kepa ko hamne yangi neka si ay tolof. Everybody that's going through hardships and pain and all the everything that's COVID's doing. Let's just pray that inshallah this goes away in the most see anam you gonna refer dal cause Gambian you get joy, dik adna si ñu get joy, and suñ kilifa yaa ngee dem, and leen ñaanal yàlla leen xale ajana, yàlla may leen ajana bu gën a kowe muy ajana fi daws, yàlla jégal leen seen baakaar yi, ñu fi des yàlla xelal ñu teete ñu si suñ waajur yi seen tànka. But I also want to say a big thank you to all the frontliners, everybody that's trying to make a difference and trying to support each other during this trying time. Like I said, COVID-19 has taken away a lot of lives, but the people in the medical sector, we have nothing but love for you. You are in every single prayer from the Gambian people at the moment. And we just want to say a huge thank you. And psychologically, we know that it's not easy. Physically, it's not easy, but ñu ngi leen di ñaanal yàlla jokkal leen seen kattan. God's blessings be with you and protection at all times. And today, my topic has raised a couple of eyebrows, and it's nothing new. I mean, we've heard this question so many times, but from a perspective of just someone like an average person in the street, how can we answer this question now? Because every single time we're asked this question, we can barely answer, and this is actually really sad. Paski, this country used to be proud of so many things, and unfortunately that is slowly fading away, and it's fading away because we have so many influences from foreign countries. It's fading away because our own parents they pass on the important factors and traditions and cultures you want to pass on, and as a result of that, we are still trying to find ourselves. So the question today is how can we preserve ourselves? Self as in our identity, self as in our minds, how can we protect who we are, how can we protect suñ aada, suñ culture, suñ cosaan, how can we protect so many things that make us Gambian. If I was supposed to ask people today, lan mooy Gambian, how do we identify ourselves as Gambians? Are we even proud to be Gambians? Because dangaa gis koo xam ne dafa tukki benn couple of months mu ñëwaat. I mean, and I'm not saying koo xam ne even tukki wut sax, because you watch so much TV and listen to so much radio and you're around particular people, you feel like danga ampul slangs. That's the term. You know, danga ampul hajaan, danga ampul wedi sax fi nga jógee. Am na ñoo xam ne ñu ngi jógee ko si digg kaw yi, waaye bés boo leen laajee foo leen jógee dañ laa xam ne man maa ngi jógee ko Fajara, maa ngi jógee Pipeline. Yooyu ay sanco yu ees la. You know, to be honest, su fekkoon ne yaa ngi jógee woon Badibu Neema, you should be proud enough to say ne man foofu laa jógee. You know, you should be proud enough to say maa ngi jógee Bakaw Waasulu Kunda. You know, why at the moment man lu ma bàyyi xel mooy fu waaye mun di jógee sax, the connection from sa origin ak sa connection ak sa habitat moom la gaay moom laa gis ne sa habitat nga gën a fonka. Loolu dafa tax family trees yi break down, to be honest. Loolu dina tax doo feel bés bu la sa askan soxlee, let's say bés boo war a wane sa boppa, wane sa aada, wane sa culture, dangaa completely réer. Xoolee ko si suñ sëy taka, suñ la takee nga war a wane sa cosaan, nga dem jënd ji white dress. Yes, okay, jënd nga white dress, waaye su fekkoon na sa aada njaago la, you know, si saasi nga jël léppi Pël yaa ko moom, Pël ak tukure yi ñoo ko moom. So how naka la njaago bi jëlee aada jàmbur? Ndax culture yu daan suñ maam yi daan jël di preserve suñ sér yi ak suñ fer yeeg suñ libidoor yeeg and those valuable assets that aren't like you can't even put a price tag on it. How are we preserving those things for our kids? Léegi dangaa dem si xew yi, instead of mu nekk xew yi Olof wala xew yi soose wala xew yi séeréer wala xew yi any tribe, dafa nekk xew yi Nigerian, because solin bi dafa mel ni solin ni Nigerian. Music bi yaa ngi afrobeats. Léegi nit ñi tegatuñ sabar te ak sabar ni mu neexee woon. Before I still consider myself, because xam naa ne am na ñu ma seetaan ñu ngi xam ne xale laa ba léegi, waaye time boobu noonu xew yi naka la daan demee, dangaa oote sa sabar def géew bu rëy, sabarkat bi ñëw nga ngeen jigéen yee góor yee famille bi yëpp feccoo ko, ngeen enjoy ko. Lu si gënoon a bari, am naa léegi loolu xam naa xëj na du amati, dañoo def assiette, nga teg assiette bi, gaay di nga lekk as a family, ku nekk xam nga the ambiance, the feeling of ne yaa ngi celebrate sa day, loolu yëpp has gone away. Léegi takay mooy ne dangaa dem si salon bi, di nga fa spend ay 4 or 5 hours, ñu ngi laa tegal mèche, you know, defaral la makeup bi, by the time makeup bi light bi hit la, you look like a completely different person. Posé la ay xef, mënuloo xippi, yaa ngi sona lekkuloo the whole day, yaa ngi toppa bongo maan yi ñu ngi la toppa nan la waaw ana seetoo seet mënuñ laa tagal sa maam yi sax. Ana géwél yoo xam ne dañ daan taga maam yi, ana géwél yoo xam ne dañ daan taga maam yi. Tega yi ñoo wax ni tega ana tega yi daan tega libidoor ye, tega ceen yi, tega ñoom ndeysaan dem si yàlla bi Samba Mbow. Where are those people? Those are all trades and skills that should have been passed on. Léegi, instead of buying gold in Gambia, you have to go to another country to buy gold, because the fact ne ñu ko waroon a def xeeb nañ ko. They don't feel comfortable to do it anymore. So instead, they feel okay. Assalamu alaikum, Auntie Nafija. So they feel the need that, there's a caste system that is so unnecessary. Instead of focusing on the real things that matter, no, da ngeen dem di adapt culture yoo xam ne moomuñ ko. Man suma maami akumara bu lañ. Te yow tey suñ ma waxee ne ma soose mun naa taxaw si soose. Why man buñ ma taka? I didn't see any of that, and I talk from my perspective. Ñun suñ culture dafa réer ba nga xam ne ñu people that like even toog lekka si benn ndab benn bool nga jël boole raxasu bi ngeen raxasu ngeen toog lekka together déedéet léegi because we have adapted such a different life ku nekkaay jàppa sa kudu jàppa sa plat dem toog si benn ruxa nga lekka bool boobu ak ndaal boobu noonu ak yooyu suñ maam yi amoon dafa da ñum signify yow ñëpp participer léegi yépp. And because of what you've outgrown it, kenn waxu na sa nit bul grow. Waaye am na ñoo xam ne kër yi ko dunda ba léegi, which is amazing, which is nice. But I would have expected ne certain traditions dañ ko continue. Suba ndewo was a matter of ne so then here suba da ngeen di tàngal sauce bu fanaan wala maalo tàngal. Generation bi ñaata xale lay lekka maalo tàngal? How many people actually say dañoo lekka maalo tàngal? Dañoo toog ñu play ludo together. Nga toog nga play ludo together da ngeen waxtaan. Even though affaire yi coronavirus bi tax na ñu bari mënatuñoo ataaya. Waaye balaa coronavirus bi sax it never existed. Demlante bi, the demlante that we had before, but so my question is, how are we Gambian? How can we define ourselves as Gambian? I personally need to know what I can see and be like, li Gambian yoko mom. Parce que kora bi mom jël nañ ko. Bolofon bi mom jël nañ ko. Even suñ solin. Before you used to wear daggets and malans and nga sol yëre olof, and it would be in the middle of the week, and people dañoo ne hey yow sa ñëw bi rafet na. Waaye léegi everybody wants to look like Beyonce and Vivian Sididour and teg sa teg bu gudda, even sa natural hair, even your natural hair. Man, when I was a kid, fine, dañ daan jël dax. I don't know ndax people understand nañ lan mooy dax. Dañ daan jël dax ñu jël benn diw bu ñu ooyee dax am na ba léegi moom lañ daan jël ñu diwal ñu suñ boppaay ñu leeta ñu. Waaye léegi xale bu am na 14 years 13 years 14 years or you're in your teens kenn nangoo tuta leetu yaa ngi teg su julli jotee yaa ngi solal xale bi I still don't understand. How can we appear as Gambians? Lan more mooy define ne ñun ñooy Gambian. Are we still proud to be Gambian? Like, that's my ultimate question. I need to know, and if it's possible, can you please drop your messages in the below section and your comments, because I need to know what defines us as Gambians. And if you want me to call you in, just send me a message and I'll tap on you and you can be part of the show and give your opinion and just tell us how you feel about the entire show. I would appreciate it. I'd enjoy the company. So yeah, let's start talking.
To achieve, you must believe.
was saying just before I went into a quick breather, this isn't easy. This isn't easy. This isn't easy at all. But I really, really, really need to do a disclaimer. I don't own the rights to any of these songs. I just feel like they're inspirational and they provide me with the inspiration to talk to you people. But I definitely Ahmed Samiga Jane, I see you and I will provide you with a tin of ducks mom zero dinala ko send via those people. I can't actually give a free advertisement. But I'm glad to see people are saying that they're proud to be Gambian. My WhatsApp is being filled with messages saying they're proud to be Gambian. But my question really is, what defines us as Gambians? What can you say? And you're like, Lee is us. Lee munyo mom. Bun peace, like bun sound, bun look, bun letu. Besides Lambi, Hamna and Lambi mom ñoo ko mom. Why Lambi Sarah be ñoo ko mom? Well, every Gambian you see in Europe, they always have a Lambi Sarah, and you're like, hey, kid Gambian la, you know. So Lambi Sarah is one of them. But yeah, what else? What else defines us as Gambians? How can we not lose being Gambians? Because I see us going down the road of not being Gambians anymore. So yeah, let's see how we get on. I want your contributions, people. I want your contributions.
Now it's all about culture, African vibes. Don't forget when, where you come from.
And the funny thing is, my Channel Jallo just sent a message saying our Wolof is different from the Senegalese, which is true. We have enunciations, we have different things like when we want to say perseverance and your perseverance. Churchill's Town is Churchill's Town. You know, our language makes me proud to be Gambian. Exactly. Ñun suñu Wolof is different compared to the Senegalese Wolof. Ñoom ñu ngi roulé seen R's yi du jeex. But at the end of the day, we can claim our broken English. We can claim our bad enunciations. And I'm not saying this to mock anyone, but this is how we grew up. This is what we grew up on. We grew up on saying things like cooperative. Man, it took me forever to realize what cooperative meant and where cooperative was. Church's Town. What was the other one? Chusel, Afrishell, Gamshell. We understand each other. Why the fake and then why do we speak English to the kids? Exactly. A very, 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 very crucial part of growing up was Swinlak and Mom. We don't speak our native tongues to our kids. We are constantly speaking English and speaking French and speaking Swedish. Yes, Eddie Mom didn't but why are we constantly speaking? Like seriously. Luñu téré la ko suñ doomi sosé, luñu téré la ko suñ doomi pol, luñu téré la ko suñ doomi séréer. Te ku wacc sa anda fépp fo dem fekk boromam tok ci bosam. Ñun luñu téré pour ñu japp suñ boppa as Gambians. Why do we have to be foreign? Like looking at funny is when nga tukki nga let's just say you go when you travel to Europe and you're having a chit chat with someone and send doom in your duga. So this is a foreign country, let's say just Angleterre, and their kids walk in and they're speaking English to them. Yeah, go and get the person some water. I mean, I'm like, okay, don't waxale bi ne ko balama yow yaa sa biir kër nekkuloo si mbéera balama nga may ma ndox simple wala mayal sa nijaay ndox wala mayal sa baajen ndox. You know, we are constantly speaking told not to speak vernacular. Even in schools, Ahmed, you're absolutely right. We went to Marina School and the kids were always told you cannot speak Wolof. You are not allowed to speak vernacular. But at the end of the day, most of us, Sonia Gise Tay, they're going Wolof. Man, I did a complete 48-minute show for crying out loud. And the feedback I got was, chat, Degulo Wolof. And I felt like saying, who are you to judge me on my language? Sorry, my phone's about to die. This is how honest I am. I'm on battery for a minute. But who are you to tell me, ne? Okay, Hatip Tal, I can see you, doctor. Who are you to tell me in the Degumo Wolof? Man, I'm proud to speak my broken Wolof there. But are you proud to speak your broken Wolof? Or there used to be a show that used to come on GRTS and people used to make fun of these people. There was a show that was focused on the jangale hale Wolof. The janga A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But it was in Wolof. GRTS, they go on it a couple of times. I'm a bad review or something, and they stopped it. For some you want in the word back. Those are the things that they need to bring back. Because as far as I'm concerned, you can learn English in school, but when you go home, you should be able to speak your native tongue. We sit here and we talk about the Fullers and the Sarahules being the richest people in this world, or in Gambia. You know why they're rich? Because they keep their kids in line. They teach their kids their native tongue, and that is important. That is crucial to any child that is growing up as a Gambian. Fum neka ni hale boko laka Wolof mutontu la si angale. Hale bo laka sose susi bole ut English bi dula laka. Hale bo fi laka aku. Then why they no can speak Creole anymore. They no sabi then how to even start. I am a prime example. And I just feel like it is time for ñu waxtaane lii because suñ aada ak suñ cosaan mu ngi réer mu ngee dem. We spend so much time on social media typing and texting in English and we're always constantly on our devices, but ban time lañ am pour toog waxtaan ak suñ doom yi, especially in our native tongues. You have people that are writing books, you know, audio books. I'm on the books you gain on. You know, I was talking to someone recently about it, and I was like, Luta Nyeko the binna books in Wolof. Why are we not writing books in Source? Why are we not translating it? Why are we not making audio cassettes or CDs or things like that? That Johanne at least fekene yangi neka out. If you live abroad, you can connect with your ancestry, you can connect with your with who you are. Why are people not doing that? So again, I just want to know what makes us Gambian, and are you proud to be Gambian? If you come from Mansa Congo, be happy to say I come from Mansa Congo. If you come from Badibu or Basi, be proud to say I come from Basi. So let me hang. I'm 50 years abroad. So low for don't wanna hitch because you don't belong anywhere. So this is why I'm like, let's just keep the conversation going. What makes us Gambian? We've already spoken about language. You have in Sweden okay, Hatip Tal is saying this is the problem we have in Sweden. That's why our kids are getting out of hand and losing our culture. Sweden and America and anywhere else in the world is all the same, bro. Yep. Same problem, Bilenyam. nekkuñ di laakal suñ doom yi olof soose pël or whatever te suñ ñëwee Gambia fii you know they treat these I'll call them semester kids like they're something else. Look tere jël sa doom bu fekkee ne mu ngi jógee ñun man I remember in there was a time boo xam ne su fekkee ne dangaa ñëw vacation or whatever it was mandatory pour man ma dem si suma kër tanta suma kër tanta she showed us ne so ewo suba dangaa bole eta nga dem rooti nga dem you know there were things that she set in line boo xam ne daf laa leer ne kii métti na waaye mu maa jàngal àddina te tey réccu ma ko because I can still do those things. Why man suma doom right now I'm like kids are stuck on tablets and mobile phones and gadgets. Ken waxu ne bu leen adapt technology, but when was the last time that child picked up a book and read? A book lawa. Not an e-book, a physical book. And read about their ancestry. And read about slavery. And read about that you know like slavery is beyond Black Lives Matter. Before Black Lives Matter, kids should have been way more involved in affaire slavery. Gambia ñu ne Kunta Kinte foofu la jóge xale yu dem school léegi nii soo leen laajoon affaire Kunta Kinte if you were supposed to ask a kid about Kunta Kinte today would they be able to answer? And it's funny it's funny that I've started this and you know I'm getting so much appreciation for things like this because most of the people that have shows and Facebook lives and all of that the media stuff how influential are you to the generation to come? The contents of the show, again, like I said, is a it's a feel-good show. But we need to discuss our problems. We need to discuss Nakalenyo preservers in culture. We need to furthermore discuss our ancestry. Fanlen Jugi. How far have we come? You know, from colonial days to today, like who are we listening to and why are we listening to them? Nubian Queen is saying, we live in the UK, but we always teach our kids the values of culture. We eat together like a Gambia, Nisan. This is nice. Watch and promote Africa. Watch and promote Africa. We encourage African culture. We encourage them to research, talk about what the African history is. It's true. I mean, Nubian Queen, I absolutely agree. It's important that we teach our kids this. You know, we can't treat them like they're different just because we're raising them in a different country. We have to treat them like they're Gambians. And the Gambians that we are, ñun ay liggéeykat lañ. Like our sunyai man, I come from a very strong family of women that have worked to preserve certain things. It's the generation that is now, like generation buñ am léegi nii, ñooñu xaw a bëgg a confuse. Te loolu suñ ko nangoo la. You know, loolu suñ ko nangoo la. Ñun dañoo nekk di mag di jéema patch fii. But we need material. We need physical material. We need evidence of fan lañ jógee. it's easy to narrate things, but when it's written down and preserved and passed on to museum in Banjul, look at the museum in Banjul. I personally feel like that place should have been way more developed, and artifacts should have been way more preserved. But right now, that place is completely empty because we do not have a tradition of preservation. We need to preserve all these things. And if we don't preserve all these things, they're just going to deteriorate and they're just going to disappear. And people will not actually know who they are. And I know a lot of families are still practicing traditions like Nubian Queen. And it's important that we do this. But how are we as Gambians going to... great discussion, I agree with you. This is Badu Jai Sala. Great discussion, I agree with you. We should teach the kids our tradition and culture. It's one of the reasons why we can't easily answer the question what it means to be Gambian. What's our identity? Exactly. This is another thing. Like, what is our identity? Like, we are so diluted. I gave a perfect example about our weddings. We're a bunch of Nigerians when it comes to our weddings. I love Nigerian people, but I'm not one of them. You know, suñ muur Adam muur ñaata nit a xam Adam muur fu mu nekk nii teg malaan sa kaw boppa bi lañ. I mean, even aada boo xam ne dañ ko waroon a laax nuba léegi it's all over the place. Muur is all over the place. Loo xam ne dañ ko daan def si sutura nga nata ñuy laa natal nga ñu tegal la sel. We put the white malaan on your head and then and all of that. Dañ ko film, dañ ko def Facebook. Liir bu juddu ees. There's a brand new baby on Facebook every day. Mashallah, they're being born. But like, in our culture, is it acceptable to do that? Is it right to do that? Everybody has a right over their child. But I would have thought, even from a cultural point of view, but a religious point of view, but we've forgotten all of that because we're taking, like Jigen Bubir, you're there with your 9-month belly and you're taking pictures half naked, and then you're not worried about the consequences of that. Culture, there were days when, like, danga hanno ba sax ne yaangi biir di sol garambuba wala di sol kaba. Where who are we? Like, what is our identity really? If we're so connected to so many other different things, how are we Gambian? How are we Gambian? This is a very good question. We can't even claim an identity anymore. We can't.
Over shoulders tonight and help us leave our words tomorrow. Let's not forget where we're from, for the show's the way to go.
I have another. When there kids there, okay. Nubian Queen. When the kids are citizenship lessons, I tell them that to be proud to be of their heritage. You might be born in England, but you're African. Exactly. Suleiman friend Jai said, great discussion. I've seen people put Laban dances on Facebook. Exactly. Live sutura. Moje. Waifen. But agbuga siurek. It's true though. I absolutely agree. Suleiman, luta aferi mur. Like, even suñna bala mour bi sax nañ wax ci takabi bala mour sax nañ wax ci takabi da nga gis ko xam ne dafa jël the whole look, I'm not kidding, I could not mockly, and I was like, it's not funny. It's at 5 o'clock. What do we not take? You're sitting in the middle of the bed and you have a collar on your head, and there are like 99 people in the room taking pictures. Man luñ ma jangal or ñun luñ ñu jangal ada bobu buñ la taka ken warta nekk ci room bi ak yow. Dañ dé jël room bi ñu tëj ko, ñu tek la malaan wala ñu tek la kala, yow kenn yaa sa maybe xëj nañ tek fa sa palaale, and you sit down in the room yéen ñaar. But now all your friends will be on the bed, you're taking pictures and you're putting it on Facebook, and I'm like, how does this gel with Nyunsun culture? Darling F, I see my families in Gambia, they don't speak their own language to their kids. Language with mom is a crucial problem. It's a major problem. And language is a huge and major problem. At the end of the day, man language is more problem, because if you're joking a bit, how are you going to communicate to your family? As a parent, your warlord tongue and translate. Hi, dear good Olaf. Hi. Your uncle said you should say hello. Like, okay, that's embarrassing. You should be embarrassed to say ne, oh, diw sangam de good pull hamut basic nuyo of Assalamu alaikum. Social media is to blame for that. We spend so much time on Facebook and social media and Twitter and TikTok and all of these things, but to even have a constructive conversation, you don't do it. Instead, and yange portray a lifestyle, it's not yours. Then I'm this caste system, I'm sorry, ñun gëna tax caste system be into play. We are the reason why all this segregation is around. I'm sorry. Because the reason, so Sunit Hamed, the real reason of why you're not Gewel, and the real reason why you're not Tegabi, the real reason why you're not Udebi, Li yep send Mitchell and one, and then walk on swim beer. And they refer to on lip. But we have come to a point where Lulu has sort of influenced the way we treat each other. Exactly. These problems started in the 60s and 70s, where people were meant to believe. So I'm trying to read your message. That foreign civilization was bad. And basic, exactly what you're saying. We are ñun dañ xeeb bon suñ boppa bi nga xam ne lu jóge woon out fonkuñ ko. But the big joke, in fact, is on us ñoo xam ne dëkka nañ out, or ñoo xam ne ba léegi ñu ngi dëkka out. You know, before you used to have Commonwealth festivals in England. I'm not speaking to people in Gambia alone. I'm speaking to people in the diaspora. Commonwealth Day. Ku nekk daan dem ak sa family. You know, get interact. Time of there was no such thing as this cultural week, sabar, whatever, what have you. You know, I'm not dissing anyone. I feel like, yeah, those events are amazing, but it's more than that. It's more than that, and until we understand that it's more than that, we will be going down this road for a very long time. Even kids that live in Banjo will have this problem. Instead of having your parent as your first introduction to education, sorry, social media is your best friend. And right now, parents aren't really monitoring. Because of COVID, most definitely, parents are not monitoring what kids are watching on those tablets. They're not monitoring what kids are looking at on those mobile phones and like YouTube. time boobu da ngaa dem daara sa ustaas nga dem nga jànga léegi it's like soo waroon a dem naka lañ ko waxatee soo waroon a dem daara you do it online, but how many kids are actually doing that online? Ndax jara na la sa doom jàng alxuraan wala mu dem church. Lan mooy basis of ñun suñ culture? What is going on? How are we going to fix this? Sorry, I keep on taking a break out because what now? Why at least yanang mawetali and definitely I appreciate all the support so far. I'm seeing amazing messages in my inbox as well as my WhatsApp, and it just gives me the feeling that lima definitely people are appreciating it. But the topic today, I'll repeat it because we've only got like 15 more minutes to go, is what is our culture and what is our identity? How do we identify ourselves as Gambians, and what makes us different from any other tribe and culture around the world, any other country around the world? How can we preserve ourselves? How can we make sure that our culture and our traditions are passed on to our kids? That's the topic for today. I love Bidu Bubes. Their songs are amazing. Yes, their songs are amazing. And then I'm culture. But like I was saying, how can we, as Gambians, identify ourselves, and what are the core problems why we are so detached from our culture and our traditions, and what can we do to improve this? We only have a couple of minutes left. I'm going to be out of here by 10:10 GMT, so I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you think of the show, and send in your WhatsApp messages, which I'm receiving now. Yeah, like I said before, a lot of people are talking about Gambian music has changed. It's absolutely, it's important. We had people like the Sipo Eagles. We had people like Gelawar. We had people like even the Yagut born Africans, Maslabi. Yep, they all of they what suggestion is to implement our language and culture into the schools. Exactly. Ahmed Tijan Semegajane, you're absolutely right. We need to incorporate our culture into the schools. But how are we going to do that if the parents themselves are so detached? That's the core problem, is that I feel like there was a drift. There was a time in the, let's say, the 80s, Lador, we had so many people traveling, like in the 70s, from research. The 70s was when the drift happened. You had music groups, you had people that inspired people to stay in Gambia, but you also had the back way. Back way bi sila door sila suñ mami ak suñ uncle suñ old timers yi daan dem Angleterre ak bitim réew, and when they come back they fed us the dream that it like so doo mun a tekki soo tukkiwut. That was the problem. Doo mun a tekki sa réew. That was another problem. Everybody was focused from, let's say, from the 80s to the 90s to still now, sir. am nañu am mentality boobu noonu ne ku tukkiwut tekkiwuloo. So when they came back, very few came back sane, and a lot of them got buried in the UK or in Scandinavia or wherever we're finding them on. But the fact of the matter of they were feeding us. There was an uprising of of dirty money. I won't say Lindon, but the uprising of dirty money influenced a lot of boys. Tuki, they all wanted to travel, and when you travel, your dream wasn't it. So I get I don't go make. Then immigration laws made it because the Dubabs didn't want us, the foreigners didn't want us. So then it was the flajara nga sukul sayon. Wala nga dem back way. Wala nga risk sa life nga jël boat bi. So I get, sadly enough, every single time, so why I get, you would not find what you were promised and what you were thought you were going to meet there, or link for on them fakeji. That was the fact of the matter. You know, and the fact it happened even with our music. We had our own sound. We had our own interpretation of what Gambian music was. Yes, people thought it was a joke. We had Born Africans. We had Super Eagles. We had Gelawa. We had Group Baobab. We had so many influences. You know, and then we had even late Uncle Biri Biri. Munko Wajas Barkidema. We had people like that come from Gambia. And they came from Gambia and they were supposed to be given the proper recognition to pass on their knowledge and their experience. But instead of Lolu, we have, as Gambians, we have a way of not showing appreciation for our own. Even when it comes to, we're okay with things being just okay. So this is why nobody takes us seriously. I said this from the beginning. I am not a professional personality. Like I'm not a person who is a media personality. But the Mahamnes, I want to share my, I want to still share my voice and my feelings and my emotions in a form of conversation with people, because I feel like if we don't discuss our problems, we will not be able to move forward. If we don't interact the right way, we can't develop. If we don't teach each other and teach, most importantly, our kids, soon they'll be dinatas. Soon added in a fade, and we'll just be walking around blindly. We'll just be walking around blindly. And there are so many countries in Africa that have these influences. But to be honest, it is high time that we claim ñun as our, like ñun claim suñ boppa. Ñu wane ne ñun lii lañ. Si xeet bi lañ jógee, askan bi lañ jógee, lii mooy suñ laaka, lii mooy suñ aada. Suñ demee si biti lu ñu neex def. Which is wrong. We should be able to sell ñun suñ, or not, I won't say sell, waaye wane suñ boppa bi nga xam ne kii su dugga see si room bi sax di nga xam ne kii Gambian la, wala kii xeedam pël la, wala kii soose la, wala kii olof la. There are certain accents that we have, accents of clothing, accents of letu, accents of character. Those things have all disappeared. So luñ doon nañ ko moom te bàyyi nit ki te bàyyi luñ moomut. Whatever we own, let's own that. Let's own that. Let's own that and try and work on it and find better ways to share that knowledge, to share what we have, to share those cultures, to preserve them as well at the same time. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck in the same position and actually won't even stuck in the same, then with them. We won't go. So I've got like 5 more minutes, literally 5 more minutes before I end this. And then inshallah, I'll schedule for another show. I'm not even sure when. I'll leave it up to you guys when you guys want to see me again, but it will be next week. Nobody say tomorrow, please, because I've already done this today. So when would you like to see me back? But before that, what are your final thoughts about the show?
Man to man is so unjust. Children, you don't know who to trust.
Before I go, because of the great feedback that I got yesterday, I've decided to start my own YouTube channel. And if you go into ModernCulture on YouTube, you shall see my profile, and please subscribe, and please join my tribe and be a part of my journey. Like I said, I'm not doing this because I feel like I can get popularity from it. I am trying to do this just as a citizen from my country, and I feel like I usually have a lot to say, and benalam do killing. Is that what you say? I'm not but benalam do killing, or the deaf noise. So at least content na everybody else is joining on board, and you support Luma Def. Speaking of support, I'd like to celebrate a few Gambians as I go along. And my Gambian today is Auntie Binta Job. She has started with a few other Gambians Baobab Concierge Services. The reason I chose her is she's been dynamic throughout the pandemic and before the pandemic, and she's such an amazing person. She's a household name because of the way she interacts with people, and I really appreciate the fact that she's always so polite and so she's such an amazing soul, and a lot of these young girls need to research her and actually know what she does and how she inspires people, and how her energy, her positive energy is so infectious. She can pass on a lot of knowledge and a lot of support for some people. Auntie Binta Job. If you if you go onto Facebook, you will find Auntie Binta, and she has started the Baobab Concierge Service. I urge you Gambians to look into it and see how best you can support whatever venture she's doing. I'm sure there's room for everybody. And yeah, that's one of the few people. She's one of the first people I'm going to actually support on my platform, and inshallah I hope to mention a few other people as I go along. But Tay Auntie Binta Job mo aye, and I am in awe with her love and her respect and her love for everybody, and I wish her the best of luck. Ñu ko ñaanal ci project bi mom ak natango mi yep ak niña mi yep, and we hope that this leads to many other more successful projects along the way. And I just want to again say, I think I'm going to turn this down. Comme ni ma ko dooree waan ma ñaanal ñi ñi waat képp koo xam ne yaa ngi am ku génn àddina, yal na ko yàlla yërëm, yàlla may ko suuf bu sedda. May all the departed souls be forgiven. May they have peace in the grave, and may the Almighty bless them with the highest of heavens. We're also saying a great, like a huge thank you to anybody that's working for the medical faculties around the world, but most importantly, my home, which is Gambia. It's not easy working on limited resources and limited direction, but hopefully, inshallah, yàlla dina leen aar fay leen seen liggéey bu rafet. Because right now the numbers are going up, and it's definitely it's sad that we don't have the right financial support, the right educational support, the right facilities. But I believe ne ak lu ndaw luñ am ñu ngi see bay seen waar bu baax, and they're really trying. So ñu ngi leen di ñaanal yàlla na leen yàlla aar, yàlla aar leen, yàlla aar leen, and God's blessing be with you. So I'm going to sign out for tonight, and I really want to show appreciation to everybody that's tuned in, and I'm leaving, and my inbox is open for the next show. Somebody said I should come back tomorrow. You must be kidding. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to come back tomorrow, but I will be coming back maybe during the week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I will be giving out the date and the time and the topic again. And today's topic was, how Gambian are you? How are you proud to be Gambian? Are you ready to sacrifice for Gambia? How are we preserving our culture? How are we preserving our traditions? How are we going to move this country forward? I hope I have shed enough light and enough energy for your Saturday evening, and hopefully we can forget about our worries just for a little bit, and just and enjoy the rest of the weekend, and hopefully next week will be a better week for us all. Signing out. I love you all. I appreciate you all, and inshallah, I'll be back next week, and not tomorrow as suggested by somebody just now. Thank you very much for watching, and I am Chat Drame with the Chit Chat with Chat. Take care.